Hello, welcome back to reScribd, audio video podcast where we go through and learn different scripts from different directors. Now, last week we did Last Night in Soho by Edgar Wright, a modern contemporary horror movie. I wouldn't say it's exactly horror, but it is horror thriller. But now we're gonna get into straight up horror, and by straight up horror I mean goddamn amazing campy horror from Sam Raimi with The Evil Dead, or as he put it in this script, Book of the Dead, the ultimate experience in grueling terror. Now, I looked ahead a little bit. I don't read the scripts before, and I want to go in fresh. I want to learn with you guys. I looked ahead a little bit. It is formatted very strangely. And that's one of the things we are going to talk about on this podcast. That is a great thing. So let's see how Sam Raimi created this cult classic. Would it be a cult classic or would it be just straight up classic? Evil Dead. Now, this has two sequels. I have one of the DVDs, Army of Darkness. It had a remake, but it's not really a remake, but loosely connected because someone shows up at the end of it. Anyway, 2013 Evil Dead, and then it was last year, 2023, we got Evil Dead Rise. Now there may be another one. Who knows? I think there's an anime. There's a lot of Evil Dead, but it's an awesome series. But now let's get into Evil Dead 1981. Okay, so this is a little bit different. Not all writers do this, but put location coding, because this is kind of all in one location, but different areas of that one location, the cabin. So we have the car, the bridge, surrounding area outside of the cabin, woods, main room, dining room, kitchen, cellar, work shed, Linda's bedroom, Shelly's bedroom, and Cheryl's bedroom. Now, I just watched this film. Let's see how different the script is from the film. Also, very, very small budget. And you can tell when watching it, and it's amazing. Amazingly well done. I absolutely love it. Evil Dead quickly became one of my favorite horror series. I absolutely love Evil Dead 2, the insane campiness, and Evil Dead 2013 is just perfectly gory. So Sam Raimi writes it like this: 12 IDDR, that means scene 12, an interior day dining room. So if any of you guys are confused, I'm not really gonna read the scene headings and all that. I don't do that here, sorry. But yeah, this is just a different style that Sam Raimi uses. But hey, a lot of different writers use different styles. Use whatever you guys feel like it. Something evil is lurking deep within the wooded mountains of Tennessee. The camera takes its point of view. Rising from the swampy bog, the mudslides from view, allowing it to see early morning mist hanging about the forest. Creeping silently past trees, gliding over small shrubs, moves onward through the woods till a mammoth oak rests directly in its path. The tree is uprooted by this unseen force and falls with a deafening crash. Nearby, a stretch of highway curves along the base of a mountain. The road winds off into oblivion beyond other peaks. From behind view, the rubble of a engine can be heard. His large logging truck headed south. Moving away, the truck becomes smaller until finally it disappears in the distance. From where the truck emerged, a dilapidated gold 1973 Oldsmobile comes into view. Inside, 5 people can be seen. They are couples: Ashley and Linda, Scott and Shelly, and Cheryl, Ashley's sister. Both Scott and Shelly wear Michigan State t-shirts. They're students along with others at that university. Scott is driving and Shelly sits next to him up front. Ashley and Linda, Sheryl are in back. They listen to an old Baby Moses and the Thriller song on the radio, and Shelly is slapping the dashboard as if it were a drum. Together forever. No, I'm not singing, sorry. Ash, where are we? I'll tell you in a second. Now we're still on 75, just past the county border. Once again, the camera takes point of view the dark brooding forest, which stops atop of Forest Ridge to peer downward. Its view focuses upon the 1973 Oldsmobile. Speeding along the narrow highway, Ash traces a route on the map with his fingers, which would put us... Jesus Christ, would you just tell us already? Ashley zeroes in on the map with his finger. Right... Scott is growing impatient. Right... Yes? Here! Suddenly the radio stops and the steering wheel jerks from Scott's hand. The car screeches out of control into the opposite lane. A large oncoming tanker truck with its horn screaming races towards the car on a collision course. Scotty, watch out! The truck races closer. The steering wheel is locked. Turn! Last possible instant. Scott's wheel again can be controlled. The car swerves sharply back into its own lane. The truck speeds harmlessly past them. Damn it, Scott, what the hell was that? You trying to kill us? Don't yell at me as your lousy steering wheel. Damn thing jerked right out of my hand. Can't understand. I just had this thing in for a tune-up. Radio's dead too. Ace. I just had him tune up the whole thing yesterday. Oh, then take it back. It's the only damn thing that works. The only thing that works on this whole car is the lousy horn. Scott honks the horn. Several local men walking down the highway respond to the horn by waving. Scott yells out the window at them. Ah, go to hell. I'm not waving at you. He looks in the rearview mirror. Men are still waving in the distance. Scott turns back to drive. Jesus Christ. Shelly turns around in the front seat, holds up a pinch of Scott. I'd like to make a toast to Scott, who almost killed us. Ah, eat shit and die, will ya? Well, maybe. Shelly and the others laugh. Okay. Into a wild weekend in a wonderful cabin with good friends. Provided we live that long. Shelly coolly drinks the scotch and passes the bottle to Ashley and Linda. Ashley pours Linda a drink, and the bottle cap keeps the bottle. They raise their drinks. With good friends. They toast and drink, react to the strong liquor. Ashley tries to hide his reaction to the scotch in front of Linda since Shelly had reacted so calmly. Ashley passes the bottle to Sheryl, who stops him with a polite, no thank you. And back up to front to Scott. Hey, Scotty, what's this place like anyway? Well, the guy that's written it says it's an old place, little run down. It's right up the mountains, totally secluded. Best part is, you get it so cheap. Why are we getting it so cheap? I don't know. Might be in real bad shape. I mean, nobody's seen this place yet. Not yet. Might not be too bad. No. Actually, it might be very nice. Yeah. Probably a real pit. I can't believe that we're renting a place for a weekend and nobody's seen. Jesus Christ, not this again. Man, how many times do you guys say Jesus Christ? You know, Mom and Dad would never let us go up to a place like this if they knew, which is exactly why they don't know. Tell you who I'm gonna call. Ghostbusters. The guys that fixed up this car. Car approaches an exit along the highway. Ashley glances at the map again. Hey, I think this is where we get off. Car turns off the main highway and follows several back roads until it approaches a narrow dirt lane that winds upward along a twin set of mountains. Scott glances up the peaks. These mountains seem familiar. They remind you of something majestic, adventure? More like adventure. Any adventure in particular? Shelly's sweater. I can't get my goddamn knee in the frame. Ashley and Scott laugh out loud. Linda laughs quietly, and Sheryl lets out an embarrassing giggle to herself. Ooh, you're gonna get it, Scotty. When you least expect it, you're gonna get it good. Finally, the car arrives at a wooden bridge extending over a great chasm. Carefully, the vehicle crosses. Late afternoon, when they eventually arrive at the destination, a small wooden cabin is surrounded by thick, dark woods. Scott shuts off the car, continues to sputter and backfire. Ashley reacts to his car. Send him a check for the tune-up. I'm just not paying for it. The place is perfect. Woods come awfully close to the house, don't they? What's wrong with the woods? Can't bite you. It's a little claustrophobic, that's all. Well, I think it's beautiful. Me too. Gonna be a bomb weekend. Oh, yes. Now, as I've done a couple times before, we're gonna do story outline. My story outline, where I analyze different scripts, see how it's written, see if I can break it down, see how I would write it. Now we break it down into 12 steps. These are not guaranteed steps. Anybody can do different steps. These are just little outlines that I like to use to try to write out a film. And the very first one is establish. We establish how dangerous the signs were leading up to the cabin. Now, there's a lot more in the film because it's all in camera, showing the beautiful camera work where it's just going through and it looks like it's actual practical. Now, if you know me, I love practical effects. I love practical camera movement. I don't like everything digital, CGI. I don't like that. No. You feel the camera because it literally hits a bunch of branches. You see how the woods is closing in and keeps you trapped there. And there's no real way out. There's so much danger around. See, it's literally chasing them. That's a beautiful point for establish. And you see a little bit of it here when the car just messes up even after a tune-up. But they try to play it off like, oh, well, they just didn't do well. Obviously, you don't know what's going on. Okay, so we're going to jump ahead a little bit. The nails that held down the trap door have been ripped out, and although still intact, the hatch is wide open. They stand silently in front of it, looking blankly as to what could have possibly done this. Sheryl is slightly more nervous than the others. Ashley is the first to speak. What is this? Whatever it is, it's still down there. I don't like cellars. Let's close it up. Probably just some animal. Animal? That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. Scott locates a flashlight and peers into the hole. Traces old wooden steps into the darkness with this light. Maybe it is just some animal. Yeah, probably right. Probably just some animal. Sheryl, why don't you make sure? Hands a flashlight to Sheryl, quickly gives it back. I'm not going down there. Okay, you cowards. I'll go. Scotty, don't. You're crazy if you go down there. Why don't you wait until morning? Look, I'll be alright. What melodrama? What courage? Kiss my brave hero. Scott kisses Shelly. With the flashlight in hand, he descends the narrow steps to the cellar's blackness. I, your virgin queen, eagerly await your precious moment when you will ascend. Virgin queen? Disappears below the floor. Shelly, Sheryl, Linda, and Ashley wait above. Hey, Scott, you see anything? No answer. Hey, Scott! Scott! Just kidding around. There's silence. Isn't he? No sounds from the cellar. Linda, give me a flashlight. Only one we brought up. Actually spots a lantern on the fireplace mantle. Get that lantern. Linda brings it over. Ashley opens up the kerosene valve, lights the wick, descends into the basement. Now, this film is very tough to do my outline, so let's try to make sense of this. Now, the past two scenes, the one right before the one I just read, there was a little bit of teasing of the dead calling out to them. That is going to be the reason everything is going on, reason things are happening. It's very tough to try to pin it down in this script, but I think we've done it here. Down below, Ashley moves quietly past the old stone walls and wooden beams that support the main floor above. Stands an old door, which leads to another section of the cellar. Cautiously, he moves towards it. Before he could touch it, the door swings open with a moan. Ashley moves through the doorway, deeper into the cellar. Condensation from water pipes above turn the cellar into an echo chamber, as drips fall into shallow pools of dirt floor below. As Ashley scans with his light, with the shadow move in the corner of his eyes. Happy Halloween, guys. Oh. God? Ashley breaks into a cold sweat as he moves away from the area where the shadow passed, back squarely into a pair of arms which grab him. Ah! It's only Scott behind him. What are you doing down here? Jerking off? No comment. I'm just gonna make a joke. I will refrain. How come you didn't answer me? When? Just now. I mean, upstairs. I didn't hear you. Well, what? You didn't? Did you find anything? Uh-huh. This. That sweeps his light. Another corner reveals several items atop a small table. Beneath the dusty cloth, he finds a book, which appears to be covered in some sort of animal hide, with an ancient form of writing on the cover. Along this book, Scott and Ashley uncover a reel-to-reel tape recorder, featuring dagger, other paraphernalia, including a box of rifle shells. Alright, so let's get into number 3 for me, introduce the antagonist, where Scott shows Ash, the Book of the Dead. This is where they find it. Now they're bringing it upstairs. They're going to listen to it. This is how things get kicked off. What's going on here? My name is Julian Noby. I'm a professor of ancient Egyptian mythology at Dexton University, Ancient History Department. This is a tape I found downstairs. I'm recording this entry from a small cabin in the southern mountains of Tennessee. Here, I am staying with my wife for a few weeks so that I may continue my research undisturbed. Since May, a group of associate professors and myself have been excavating the ruins of Kandar. I believe I made an important find in that area. That's the reason for this log. With it, I can keep an accurate record of translations from my latest find. First of 6. The others still lost. Volumes, ancient Sumerian burial practices and rites. Basically, it's a book of do's and don'ts dealing with the deceased, entitled La Torn de Mantle. Roughly translating, Book of the Dead. It is bound in human flesh and inked with blood of the deceased. Geez, I hate to find out what he used for pens. This particular volume deals with demons and demon resurrection. They're kind of the Kadiri family. Meaning, those forces believe to inhabit the jungles and woods of man's domain. The first few pages that I have translated warn that of those demons, dangerous, ever present, exists primarily through this book. Legend has it, only the sacred high priest of the Kandar tribe could possess these books, for they alone could properly control the resurrected demons. It is only through the act of reciting the resurrection passage that the demons would be able to possess the living. For many years, it was thought that this legend. Cheryl turns off the machine at this point. Hey, what'd you do that for? It was getting good. I just don't want to hear anymore, that's all. Cheryl's scared. Cheryl's scared. Scott, will you leave her alone, will you? How many times are you going to say Jesus Christ? And like every other line from Scott is Jesus Christ. He moves to the tape recorder, fast forwards it for a bit and stops. You're acting like a baby. It's no big deal. Turns the machine on. The passage continues. You guys want me to try to say this? If I fuck it up, whoopsies. Tantir Miss Trilbean Azata. As the tape plays, all natural sounds from the forest die out. The autumn colors in the trees fade to gloomy gray. Tantir man of Miss Husband Soba. All eyes except Cheryl's turn to the window. Outside, clouds roll in from the east. Thunder booms in the distance. Winds pick up. Begins to rain. Thunder! Section of the ground deep within the woods begins to crack and opens. Smoke seeps from within, as if some evil force was now being unleashed. Shut it off. Kanda. Oh, sorry. Let's make sure that I didn't release anything. Winds howl and blackbirds fly from their nest. Shut it off. Ashley, hearing her for the first time, turns to the window to Cheryl. She's overwhelmed with fear. Kanda. Like a bolt of lightning strikes very near. Thunder crash is deafening. Cheryl can no longer control herself. She screams and covers her ears. Shut it off! The window shatters with a branch from a nearby tree, tears through it. Ashley runs to the tape recorder and turns it off. Cheryl is crying now. Runs to her room. Ashley turns to Scott. Scott, you knew not to play it. I mean, you knew it was upsetting her. Just don't know when you're carrying something too far. Come on. Big deal. It's just a joke. Shit. Scott and Shelly head off to their bedroom. Scott mumbles to himself along the way. I think she's 3 years old or something. Scott slams the door behind him. She sighs, moves to the broken window, and reaches through it to close the outside shutters. Been really bothering you, hasn't he? Ashley walks to the chair near the other window. No, it's not Scott. Scotty's okay. It's just ever since we came out here, things have been a little tense. All these crazy things going on. Look at that window. Gonna have to pay for that window now. It'll be better tomorrow. Things smooth out. You'll see. I hope so. Looks at window. Did I say window? He looks at Linda lovingly for a long moment. Say we stay up here for a while. Listen to the storm. Jill, let me check on Cheryl. Be right back. Across the room, she's seen opening Cheryl's door crack. Linda asks if she's alright and gets a muffled reply. The foreground, Ashley moves. Small box he showed to Cheryl earlier, places it in his hand. He glances it behind to Linda. She closes Cheryl's door, walks back to find Ashley sound asleep. The box in his hand. Actually, this is a really cool part because this is like reversed later in the film. Cool. Linda looks at him, but his eyes are closed again. In time to still appear fast asleep. Engine back to the box. Yeah, and goes back and forth. Turn back to the box, and Ashley opens his eyes. But Linda turns back again to catch him with his eyes wide open. Aha! Stealing from the blind, huh? It's for you. And begins to open the box. Gold necklace revealed inside. Oh, Ash, it's beautiful. Kisses Ashley. He removes the necklace from the box and holds it around her neck. I'm gonna give it to you before we left, but things got so hectic. It's the first chance I've had. You like it? Boom, boom, boom. Hold on 1 second. Challenge. Again, this is very difficult, so I am trying to pick and choose. Now, I've seen this film before, so I was trying to pick and choose where this would go. And I think a challenge would be finding a calm moment for Ash to be with Linda. He's very distracted. He's just trying to be with her. Trying to have a nice romantic weekend. Scott's pissing him off, being annoying, stupid. Things are going wrong, so he's just trying to stop. Trying to take care of everyone and then focus on this. Because everything's just going wrong. That is the challenge with this. What can't go wrong? This. Let's try to get this. Linda moves to a mirror. It's beautiful. I really love it. I'll never take it off. Minus strikes at something in the woods, examines a small cottage. Through the outside window, Ashley and Linda could be seen embracing. This force watching moves around the house to another window. The silhouette of Scott and Shelly undressing can be seen. Force continues around, arrives at Cheryl's window. Inside, she brushes her hair in front of the mirror for a moment. And sets down her brush and moves to the window. She stops to uncrumple the sketch drawn earlier. Looks at it, then out to the dark woods. Cheryl could faintly hear some kind of sound. Same sound she heard earlier from the cellar. Noise, almost like that of something breathing. Evil entity rounds the corner of the cabin as Cheryl walks through the rooms to the front door. She can be seen stepping out the door. Closes behind her, wind shaking the tree branches since dead leaves fluttering about. Now, this is a very visual scene. Branches grab her in the woods. It's a little bit worse in the 2013 version. Because you see a lot more, but like the branches grab her and it's very It grabs her in very weird ways. That's all I'm gonna say about it. What the hell is happening? What is it? Sorry. Or singing Glass Animals. That's my default. Sorry. What the hell happened? It tried to kill me. I heard a noise and I ran in the trees. The trees. What are you? He's cut off by Ashley approaching with the others. Cheryl, what's wrong with you? Something happened in the woods? No, the woods themselves. Trees, they're alive. He hugs Ashley tight and cries hysterical sobs. They're alive. Also, hold on, let me stop this again. The thing in the 2013 film, they focus more on his sibling aspect, and that's really cool. This one, they focus on Ash and Linda. Their romance, kind of. And although I feel like the characters aren't that fleshed out, Ash gets fleshed out more in the sequel. But yeah, it's very well done in 2013 version. Maybe I'll read that script. I highly suggest you watch both films. Watch every Evil Dead movie. They're all great. Okay, and there's one more thing I want to bring up for my next point, my outline. Number 5. Question. What is the dead and living worth to you? Now, this is a very difficult one because I feel like this is the central thing. This is the central question of the film, but yet it's never explicitly stated, you know? This is just deduction. I could be wrong, could be very wrong, but hey, deduction for this 1980s film. Very low budget, pretty short script as well, so I don't know exactly what Sam Raimi was getting at, but this is my question because later on we find out more of this. And typically in writing, you put the central question and themes early on in the beginning, establish that for the characters and learn it throughout. But I'm just gonna put it here because I don't know where else it can go. That is number 5 question. They're alive. Ash, why don't I take her into the bedroom so she can lie down a little? I'm not lying down. I'm not staying here. We're leaving this place. We're leaving this place right now. Wait a minute. I'm sure as hell not going anywhere. Cheryl! Cheryl, there's nothing out there. Trees do not attack people. Ashley, will you drive me into town or not? Right now? Sure. I'll drive you into town. But if you'll just listen to what you're saying, I don't care how it sounds. I want to leave this minute. You can bring back my things when you do. Okay? If you don't want to stay, I can't make you. Puts on a coat around Cheryl as Ashley helps her to the door. The bridge over the chasm has been torn away. Cheryl is silent as Ashley walks to the ravine's edge to examine any remains. No. It's not gonna let us leave. It's not gonna let us leave. It's not gonna let us go. An axe is raised into the air, then brought down, smashing up a log. Splitting it in two. Scott's chopping wood outside the cabin. Behind him, through a window, Cheryl sits with a cup of tea in her hand, watching him. Scott sets the axe down, gathers the wood, and moves away. Cheryl shifts her gaze from Scott to the woods beyond. Aaron moves in toward Cheryl and then past her. Shelly and Linda could be seen playing cards on the floor. Ashley is seated near the fireplace with the tape recorder in front of him. Plugs in the earphone, so only he can hear it. Scott enters the cabin, passes in front of Ashley, drops his wood one side of the fireplace, throws a log in, heads back outside. Inside, Linda speaks. So you want to play some cards? Uh-huh. Charles turns to face the window again. And tomorrow morning, we'll find some way around that cliff in the town, okay? Okay. Outside the window, Scott chops more wood in the night's fire. Ashley turns on the tape recorder to listen with his earplug. March 12th. Suzanne came after me and almost murdered me. My own wife. At first, I thought the mental or psychological. Order because of what had happened to her eyes, but I was only fooling myself. I knew what it was. March 12th. Suzanne came after me, almost murdered me. My own wife. At first, I thought it was a mental or physical disorder because of what had happened to her eyes. But I was only fooling myself. I knew what it was. Outside the window, Scott continues to chop and gather wood. Shelly, still engaged in cards with Linda, holds up one in particular. Okay, guess this card. I'm not gonna know what card that is. Guess. I'm gonna see if you're psychic. Card is a two of clubs. Okay, is it a queen? Right. Really? Yeah. Yes, I guessed the card right. Really amazing, Linda. He's listening intently to the log as it continues. 3 days have passed since that thing has been down there, hoping to weaken it without food or water. Nothing worked. Finally, desperation, I dragged her out the shed and dismembered her. But whatever it was could not get up again. Joe, did you see that? Joe remains with her back turned to him, staring out the window. Try this one. She removes a 9 of clubs from the deck and holds it up. Okay, let me think. Puts her hands to her head in a curved funnel formation, as if to direct her thoughts to the card, like this. It's a 7. My God, what suit? Diamonds. No, wait, I mean hearts. Right, there's 7 of hearts. You're a fucking liar, aren't you? Yeah. Yeah, so you see that? That's 2 cards in a row. How do you do it, Linda? Concentrating on the tape. This is when I saw dark figures moving about in the woods. Should have never tampered with the Book of the Dead. I now know whatever it is, resurrected through this book, coming from me. No, I always thought I had sort of extra sense. Like ESP or something. What's this one? Builds up the Queen of Spades. Another 7. I don't believe it. Good looking outside. Queen of Spades. Shelly looks at her card, then back to Sheryl. Shows up another card. 4 of Hearts. Card is a 4 of Hearts. Shelly bites her lips. And reaches for another card. Ashley and Linda listen in silence. 8 of Spades. It picks up a card. Cheryl's correct again. 2 of Spades. Jack of Diamonds. Jack of Clubs. Faster and faster, she calls them off. Before Shelly could flip them to keep up. Suddenly, Sheryl turns around to the group. Her eyes are bone white. Shelly's deck cards slip from her hand and shatter across the floor. Cheryl's body is hoisted up by its feet and jerked about to a wide-eyed marionette. She speaks in a voice unlike her own. Why have you disturbed our sleep? Awaken us from our ancient slumber. You will die like the others before you. We will take you one by one. All of you. She screams in a low, gruff voice and collapses to the floor. Oh my God, Shelly. Get Scott in here. Shelly does not respond. Hurry! She exits through the front door. Linda moves to Sheryl and lifts her head gently. Sheryl appears unconscious. Behind her, she reaches for a pen. You see her eyes? I'm scared. What's wrong with her? Ashley begins to speak when Scott and Shelly enter. What happened to her? Cheryl's hand clutches the pen tightly. Look at her eyes. Scott's hand reaches for Cheryl's eyes and inspects them, but they blink open. The pen in her hand races upwards and then slashes down, ripping into Linda's Achilles tendon. Ugh. It's quite nasty. And it screams fiercely with a blur. Bloody pen is raised again. Ashley grabs Cheryl's arm, stopping her. With a powerful swipe, she swings her remaining arm at Linda, who is sent sprawling across the cabin floor. Sheryl then clutches Ashley and almost lifts him up, sends his body reeling across the room into a bookcase which topples over, trapping him beneath its weight. Sheryl stands up, screaming at Sheryl. Shelly stands screaming at Sheryl. Sorry, these two names are very close to each other. It's almost upon him. And Scott grabs her from behind effortlessly. She tosses him off, moves towards Ashley again. Scott climbs to his feet and grabs an axe. Sheryl raises the pen above Ashley's face, and Scott gives her a sharp jab to the jaw with the wooden handle. Sheryl stumbles past Linda and falls backwards, headfirst into the cellar. She begins to climb out, but Scott slams the door shut upon her hand. It won't close. Sheryl starts to push the trapdoor open from below. Scott climbs on top of it. Is almost thrown off until he viciously rams the butt of the axe down on a protruding hand. Demented screams and moans are heard from below as Cheryl's hand is finally pulled back. Scott manages to secure the chain across the hatch. And now there is your motivational push. The dead now has Shelly. Pushes her to kill them all. What is going on? Now this is going to get this the story movie very much kicked off and going. This just gets everything built up. Later that evening, Linda's seen in her bed, sleeping. Ashley covers her with a blanket, kisses her, and walks to the door, closing it quietly behind her. Ashley joins Scott and Shelly, who sit near the fire in the main room. From the cellar, strange moans, sobs, and laughter emerge. Horrible rasping sounds from Cheryl's breathing. The next sequence of dialogue, her breathing becomes louder, somewhat quiet. Be okay, Ash. Took a bad bump. Yeah. Scott and Shelly listen to the strange noises from below as Ashley looks out the window to the woods beyond. Still got a few hours before morning. I don't know if I could wait that long. You have to. We all have to. Once it's light out, we'll try to find a way to get around that chasm. Keep making those horrible noises. I don't know. What about her eyes? Ashley and Scott are quiet. What about her eyes? For God's sake, what happened to her eyes? Joe patiently sits in the cellar's darkness, with a streak of light across her eyes and a crack of the trap door. Head is slightly tilted as she watches and listens to what is said above. From her point of view, we hear Scott speak to Shelly. Everything's gonna be alright. Cheryl's lips part slightly. Thick blackish yellow liquid drools out from between her teeth. Grins. A noise is heard from Shelly's bedroom. Scott drops a small stick he was whittling and looks up. He places the dagger on the floor, walks toward Shelly's room. Shelly, are you okay? She does not answer. Scott approaches her door and turns to Ashley. Keep an eye on Cheryl for a minute. Scott enters the darkness of her room and sees nothing amidst the shadows. Shelly looks over to her window. It is open and wind blows upon the curtains. Scott steps into Shelly's bathroom. Sees that the shower curtains is drawn. Cautiously he moves up to it. Shelly pulls the curtain back to reveal an empty tub. Scott turns back to a bedroom where Shelly steps to the doorway, possessed. With a scream, she latches upon Scott. Her eyes have gone bone white and claws at Scott's face with claws in her nails. Screaming, Scott stumbles through her bedroom, with Shelly still upon him, biting at his throat. They stagger into the main room where Scott manages to knock Shelly off himself and into the fireplace. She remains motionless as her head smolders upon the hot coals. Scott rushes to her, grabs an arm, and pulls her out. Shelly's face and hair on one side of her head are smeared, blackened, like Two-Face. She blinks and her eye open. Turns a charred head to Scott, speaks in a rasp. Thank you. I don't know what I would have done if I had remained in the hot coals burning my pretty flesh. You have pretty skin. Give it to us. Cackling, Shelly clutches Scott's neck and begins strangling the life out of him with a vice-like grip. He tries to break the hold but cannot. Ashley also tries. For the backhand blow, Shelly knocks him into the cabinet, smashing it to bits. A garbled cry for help escapes from Scott's frothing mouth. Shelly reaches down, picks up the Sumerian dagger, holding up Scott by his throat. With one hand, she raises the dagger. With the other, Ashley, slightly injured, crawls to his feet. Scott grabs her raised arm. Although choking, swings his camping knife from its side sheath, slices it deep into Shelly's raised wrist, almost severing it. Murky black ooze pumps from the wound. She emits an ear-splitting howl, tightens her grip on Scott's throat. He drops the hunting knife. Ashley watches it terrified, unable to move as Shelly raises her dangling hand, still clutching the dagger to her mouth, bites it off. The useless part falls to the floor with the dagger still firmly in its fist. Scott, now almost dead, grabs her severed hand, clutching the dagger. In the last attempt, swings it around, ramming the blade into her spine. Shelly screeches, along with Cheryl in the cellar. Grandfather clock gongs, and lightning strikes at the same instant. Shelly reaches around with her remaining arm to clutch at the severed hand, knife protruding from her own back. Thick black ooze pours in the wound as she bends backwards, screaming. Ashley stands in horror, clutching the axe, unable to move. Black ooze runs from Shelly's mouth as her body writhes, almost spasmically, on the floor. Gradually, the movements cease and she is dead. Scott slowly stands to his feet. Shelly's arm grabs his leg. Ah! Some force reanimates her, even though the putty is dead. No, 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 hit her! Shelly's body is hoisted up, jerking it to its feet, laughing madly. Hit it! Scott screams as he backs towards Ashley, who stands with the axe paralyzed. Gurgling black ooze, Shelly advances toward them with one remaining arm. Scott grabs the axe from Ashley, pushes him away, and slams it into her. And it flashes, thunder booms, and Cheryl screams from the cellar. Scott brings his axe down, and again in a frenzy, and then at the final chop there is silence. Shelly's body remains on the floor for quite some time until Ashley can cope with the fact that she is dead. Something must be done. Scott? Yeah. What are we gonna do? Bury her? You can't bury Shelly. She's a friend of ours, isn't she? Ash, she's dead. Ashley moves away from Scott. Shelly's dead. We're gonna bury her now. Ashley bites his lip, looks about blankly. Finally, the body is dragged outside and buried near the work shed. Harsh floodlights from the house make the task look very stark and barren. Scott and Ashley return inside. She heads to Linda's room to check on her. Appears to see Linda sleeping peacefully. Ashley quietly returns to the main room. Scott loading new batteries into the flashlight. Saw an old hiking trail when we were driving up here. Now, I don't know if it goes all the way around that gorge, or if it's even still intact, or if it's even still intact. But guess I'll find out. Take good care of Linda. I will. Do you have everything? Yeah, all set. And Scotty, I'm sorry about falling apart like that. Don't bother, really. He steps out the door. We'll find a way out here. I'll mark it and then come back. And if I'm not back here in a few hours, then if for some reason, well, if I don't come back, grab Linda, leg and all. Just get her the hell out of here. Shake hands. You're a good man. Good. I'm the best. Shelly's gone. Scott has come back. And there's possibly something with Linda. He sensed a little something. He saw a little smile and all that. Also, I'm noticing that we're getting very far in the script, and it's kind of worrying me because we have 12 pages left. We're nowhere near the ending, so I'm very scared. I hope this actually has an ending, because if not, that is going to be very strange. Looks back in the Linda room again. She's gone. Now sitting in the corner of the main room where Ashley is, watching him. Scott begins to cough with horrible rasping sounds. It's not gonna let us out. Not gonna let us leave. Cheryl was right. We're all gonna die here. We're not gonna die. We're all gonna die, all of us. Ashley grabs Scott and shakes him violently. We're not gonna die. We're not gonna die. We're getting out of here. Now listen to me. Is there a way out of the chasm? Scott passes out. Scotty. Ash slaps Scott. He stirs awake and mumbles, Jesus, Ash. I don't want to die. So lonely to die like this. You're not gonna leave me, are you? Are you, Ash? And that brings us to number 7. Confront Self. Ash is alone with Scott on the brink of death. Now, Sheryl and Linda are demons. So what could possibly be next? Now the whole thing is, he wants to be alone. That was the challenge. He wanted to find a calm moment. Now the exact opposite. He is forced to be alone and is not calm in the slightest. Every waking second could possibly die. Everyone's dead or a demon. Now Ash is forced to be there by himself. I don't want to die. So lonely to die like this. You're not gonna leave me like this, are you? Are you, Ash? I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know where that came from. I don't know. I apologize for my outburst. Guys, there's some way around the chasm. And now we're gonna get into.
Don't you see, Ash? They're alive.
And it's cut short. The cries on sharp pain. Blood dribbles from his nostrils. He doubles over, grabbing his stomach. Linda begins to laugh. Ashley looks to her. Rather, what possesses her hates her. Shut up. She continues to laugh. Sheryl in the cellar joins in the laughter. Ashley walks to Linda, slaps her, but she continues. He grabs a hunting rifle from the rack of the wall and loads it with shells. You crazy ass bitch! Sorry. Kill her. Yeah. Yeah. Why don't you come down here and suck your dick, pretty boy? I'm kidding. That was from Evil Dead 2013. Now, oh my god! With all the safety, he placed the barrel against Linda's head. God forgive me, Linda. Laughter stops and her eyes return to normal. It is Linda again. Ashley puts down the rifle. Ash, help me, please. He hugs him tightly. Don't let me take you away again. Please, please, please. Cheryl's voice is heard from the blackness of the cellar.
Let me out of here. Ashley? Ash, help me. Let me out of here. I'm all right now. I'm all right now, Ashley. I'm all right.
Ashley releases Linda, moves cautiously to the cellar. Linda remains behind, nervously fumbling with her necklace. Look at Scott, you fucking bastard. Sitting over there. Hurts. Alone. Near death. Bro? A reply from the cellar. Ashley looks through the crack, only sees darkness. He reaches for the chain. Begins to unlock it. But sensing something wrong, he stops. Puts his ear to the floor. Listening for the slightest sound. Shell's arm ripped through the floorboards and grabs Ashley's head. He breaks away from her hand and reaches for the chain but cannot quite grasp it. Slowly it withdraws beneath the floor.
You bastards! Why are you torturing me like this? Why?
Drifts off and the evil laughter resumes from the cellar. Voice drifts off and the evil laughter resumes from the cellar. Sorry. Bastards, why are you doing this? Why? There's silence for a moment. Laughter from behind him begins once again. It is Linda. Her eyes are white once more and she laughs at Ashley. Oh, Linda. With newly found courage, Ash angrily grabs Linda by the legs and drags her outside. And now, God is dead. The life fades from him. There is no answer from Scott. The water runs out of his mouth. Linda's laughter is heard again. Ashley walks to the window and pulls back the curtain. There's nothing there. He turns in. She is there. with a Sumerian dagger. Linda rips into Ashley's shirt, cutting his arm. He screams and watches in horror as she runs her tongue over the dagger, licking the blood from it. She turns her attention towards Ashley again, but he grabs her and they struggle. Linda backs Ashley up against Scott, knocking his body onto the floor. Cheryl's gnarled arm reaches up through the broken floorboards and grabs at Ashley's foot. He manages to turn Linda's arm so the knife is behind her back forcefully. Ashley pushes her over the body of Scott. She falls back upon the dagger, impaling herself upon it. The blade tears through her back and rips through her stomach. Lightning flashes, thunder roars, and Linda screams in a deep growl once. Then all is quiet. Now you see, this is very, very descriptive. A lot of writers, well, when I was taught screenwriting, I was taught not to have a big paragraph like this, but so many different writers, so many different ways. Hey, look, Sam Raimi, one of the greatest horror directors of all time, like this. You can read it, it's fine, it's clear. That is how screenwriting is done. If you can read it, you can see it, write it however you please. Make sure that you can read it, you can understand it. Then you have to make sure others can understand it, especially producers, actors. But writing is different in all different ways. Ashley drags Linda's corpse past the crumbled body of Scott, past Cheryl, watches all from below, through the back door, and out to the work shed. He lifts her up onto the workbench and secures her body to it with a number of chains which hang from nails on the wall. He rips down a tarp hanging on the wall to reveal a chainsaw. Most famous chainsaw. He doesn't really use it in this movie. He uses it in the second movie and in the third. Fucking awesome. He starts it up and moves towards her, buzzing madly. The saw is now lowered to a position several inches above Linda's neck. Ashley looks into Linda's face. Her eyes have gone back to blue. Turns the saw off. And he drops the saw and breaks down crying over Linda's body. Number 8. Face challenge. Linda is now dead and Ash must bury her. So the challenge earlier was finding a calm moment for Ash to be with Linda. It doesn't get more calm than this. Damn sure isn't going to get more calm. And yeah, she's pretty much dead. Completely dead. She's gone. And all he wanted was just a nice moment with her, and now she's gone. So there's the challenge he's faced. Again, this is a little difficult for me, but hey, this is the beauty of different writers. Yeah, still, this movie is beautifully written and obviously directed, made, especially for the time. So if you guys do have the opportunity or have any streams, I'm not sure which streaming service is on right now at the moment, but if you do, please watch Evil Dead and see how this compares. This is great. This is fantastic. An evening mist drifts out the woods and cloaks the shed as Ashley carries Linda's body outside for burial. He lays the body upon the ground, picks up a shovel. Harsh floodlights from the corners of the cabin create strange shadows on the ground as Ashley digs Linda's grave. She lies on her back during the digging. One of her eyes opens. It's white. See, this is what I was talking about. This was the thing earlier when he was pretending to be asleep with the necklace. This is the reverse of that. So she keeps doing that to him. Oh, they don't put it in the script. Okay. Inside the cabin, Cheryl begins slamming her fists against the trap door in the cellar again. She wants out. Screws holding the hatch in place begin to loosen. Ash places Linda's corpse in the grave, oblivious to Cheryl's pounding. He begins to cover her with dirt. Cheryl's ripped out all but one screw which holds the trap door intact. Ashley glances to the grave and sees Linda's necklace on top of a dirt mound. Reaches down to pick it up, and when Linda's hand shoots up beneath the graves and grabs him, She pulls herself up out of the grave, screaming and clutching Ashley's leg with the blackened, bloodied hand. He twists around, trying to free himself. She would not let go. By now, Linda is almost completely out of her grave. With her fingernails, she rips into Ashley's leg, tearing the skin, screaming. Picks up a large log nearby and swings it roundhouse into her face again and again and again and again until they were both dead. Sorry, I speak in references, so I just referenced Spider-Man. I think I did that in another episode of reScribd. Anytime you say again and again, I think of Willem Dafoe in Spider-Man. Sorry. She grabs the log with him, clinging on the other end, lifts him up, throws Ashley log and all away from her. Ashley hits the ground with a considerable force. For the first time, begins to comprehend the power of this thing he's dealing with. Thick black ooze pours from Linda's nose and mouth as she turns towards Ashley, sprawled on the ground. Stay back. Hands gropes for the handle of a spade. Linda advances towards him, laughing. Linda, please. If you can still hear me, keep away. Fingers tighten on the wooden handle. With a scream, she lunges toward him. On the ground, Ashley swings a spade upward, lopping off her head. The head falls into the mud. The body falls upon him, grabbing and jerking about spasmodically. Thick black ooze pumps from her neck, and Ashley manages to pull himself underneath the body. He backs away in disgust and falls. Picks himself up again and sees Linda's necklace on the ground. Ashley stashes it in his pocket. Staggers to the cabin. Inside, he looks at the main room beyond Scott's body. Oh, the moment from deep inside, the trap door is open and Sheryl is gone. Ashley walks over and kicks it shut. Slight breeze sweeps through the front door, causing Shelly's bedroom door to creak open. Ashley picks up the rifle again and cautiously moves towards the door. Now let's get into number 9. What is the dead and alive worth to you? 9, we're going to answer the question. Too much, because the others are now too far gone. There's no one left. He's so concerned about keeping everyone alive. Everyone just died. It was over. Unfortunate, but hey. That is the end. That is how everyone is gone. So you put too much trust into this evil dead. And everyone's too far gone. You cannot bring them back. Although, in the 2013 one, you can bring someone back. They literally do bring someone back in. Evil Dead 2013 is fucking awesome. There's a little bit of I don't like where like the dialogue is a little fucking generic. I'm like, alright, come on. But other than that, it's an incredible film. I love Evil Dead 2013. Evil Dead Rise is fantastic as well. Especially the mom in Evil Dead Rise. Oh my god. I've been saying is like, they cast like the perfect people to play these bloody demons. Oh, fantastic. Okay, so we're skipping into the end. Noticing this is page 69 of 70. So like, holy shit. That made me just, fuck it, we're getting to the end. Because looking at this, oh my god, this is a lot of fucking paragraphs. Remember what I said earlier, that is not typically how people write. We've done a lot of scripts on this podcast, but never really have we had... We've done a lot of scripts on this podcast, but never really have we had large paragraphs like this. Ashley picks up a small table upon which are the Book of the Dead, the Professor's Journal. He throws it at Scott. This does not affect him, and he advances closer. The Book of the Dead lands near a fireplace, edges of paper darkening from the heat. Scott picks up Ashley and begins to throttle him as if he were a rag doll. Front door begins to give under Cheryl's pounding. Ashley brings his hands to Scott's eyes. With a crash, Cheryl breaks through the front door and begins to push the dresser away. Pages from the Book of the Dead are smoldering now. Ashley jams his finger to Scott's eyes. Ugh, it slips from his grip. Scott clutches his eye sockets. And his back begins to smolder. Ashley now sees the book. Pages burn at the edge. Cheryl topples the dresser and enters the room. Her face is partially torn away from the shotgun blast. Ashley rushes to throw the book onto the burning logs, but Cheryl, smoldering also, gives him a backhand blow across the head. He is sent sprawling to the floor. She grabs a fireplace poker with her crushed fingers and turns back to Ashley, who is now crawling toward the fireplace. When almost in reach of the book, Scott grabs his leg and begins to pull Ashley backward. Cheryl approaches with the smoke pouring from her clothes, and slams Ashley across the back with her poker. Ashley screams. Glitter catches his eye. It is Linda's necklace. Grabbing it, he tosses it the end with a clasp toward the book. It slides off the cover. Scott pulls him back once more as Ashley swings the necklace. In the last desperate attempt, Cheryl raises the poker for a final blow. Necklace drapes over the book. As Ashley is dragged, the clasp hooks the cover and pulls the book with him. With a yank, he seizes the book and tosses it upon the blaze. And that is number 10. Defeat Antagonist. Number 3 was introduce Antagonist. Now we're going to defeat them. And Ash burns the book, destroying all the demons. So yes, it was explained earlier. The book was the reason for everything. Now, it's all over. The demons are defeated. It's fantastic. Thank God. Oh. And it was tough to figure out the last one because, oh shit, see, it's over. It was tough to figure out my last 2 steps in my outline, which is lesson and show growth. Because it pretty much ends immediately after that. Yeah, after the demons are destroyed, Ash just walks out. It's daylight. He made it to the morning. And then the evil force is still there. It comes back. And it cuts as he's screaming. And Evil Dead 2 opens up. Maybe we'll read Evil Dead 2 next year. But this was a good Halloween track. But let's get back to this. Number 11, I think I would have said the lesson would be pushing past the limits. It's not always worth it. You may lose what you love. And show growth will be what's changed. Actually, no, I'm just going to cut that. All right, that is Evil Dead. Guys, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you liked. It's a different one, a lot different. Book of the Dead, the ultimate experience in grueling terror by Sam Raimi. Thank you, Sam Raimi. Shout out to him. If you guys would like, please go watch the film. It's a fantastic film. Low budget, 80s. Oh, perfect time. Then watch the newer films. Watch Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, Evil Dead 2013, and then Evil Dead Rise. I'm not sure if there's going to be another Evil Dead, but hey, check it out. Check out all of them. That is Evil Dead. And now it has been reScribd. So subscribe for more. And follow me on all social medias, Look up there. Yeah. YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, maybe even Letterboxd. What was that accent I was going for? I don't know. But I do know it's time to head out. And I'll see you guys when I see you. Peace!